Okay, this video is going to give you a brief introduction to the JOptionPane class and the use of dialog boxes in your programs. Now what we're doing right now is, as you see on the screen, is using print statements to display output on the screen. And so as we run this program, of course you see your output down in here in the lower pane, and but there's another way to display output on the screen is through the use of dialog boxes. Example of a dialog box, let's say in Microsoft Word, this right here, this little graphic called a graphical user interface. This is another way that programs can allow for interaction between the user and the program is by the use of dialog boxes. And so these are very easy to use, and so you can click on different things and you're interacting with the computer or with the program. Okay, so this is a dialog box. You can also create dialog box very easily in Java. And so what we're going to do first is, and it's important that you take down these notes. The first thing that we need, you have to have what's called an import statement. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the import statement 2 lines above the class header. And so there are a number of import statements that we will be using throughout the semester, and we'll talk about what import statements do later on, but this is just a quick look at how to produce dialog boxes and how to use them in your programs. And so we start out with, for a JOptionPane class, you have to have an import statement. So import javax.swing.JOptionPane and then a semicolon. So an import statement starts with the word import, and you see how it changes color. And then this particular import statement says javax.swing, and you're going to see that others are going to be different, like so there's java.util and things like that, java.text, but this is javax.swing.JOptionPane. Now the JOptionPane class is spelled, it has to be spelled like this. It's got to be a capital J, capital O, and then the P has to be capitalized. And that's, in order for this to work, it's got to be spelled and capitalized this way, otherwise the compiler will not recognize it. So this is an import of the JOptionPane class, which allows you to create dialog boxes. So we're going to put this import statement 2 lines above the public class, or the class header. Okay, then now what happens is, now you notice down here we have a system.out. Notice an out, it has to do with the output. And so this is how we have been showing output as it displays down here. But now we're going to create another way. So what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of using this system.out.println, we're going to type this JOptionPane, and as we demonstrated before with that capitalization, .show message dialog. Now be careful, because some of you are going to want to spell dialog a different way, but this is how it's spelled. There's only 1 dot in here, and this has to be capitalized the exact same way, or else the compiler will not recognize it. So whenever you put multiple words together, you do capitalize the first letter of each word. That's called camel casing, and so that's what's going to be used here. So JOptionPane.show message dialog. Now within the parentheses, what's in parentheses, what's contained in there is often called an argument, and you can have multiple arguments. So the first argument is going to be null, and we're not going to explain why it's got to be null, but you can see that's a special word, turns a different color. And then arguments, if you have more than 1 argument within parentheses, for instance, here's an argument of the println method, and that is just 1 argument. Now if you want to have 2 arguments, you put a comma, and so the second argument is going to be the print statement. Now you notice we have this statement in here. It's just like a print statement, only it's part of a JOptionPane.show message dialog statement. And so it's the same thing except for you got the JOptionPane stuff in there. So this is going to show the message now in a dialog box. And then what we can do now is we can just copy this here, replace that, and then we can put the null in here. And there we go. So you've got to have the import statement in order for you to use this show message dialog statement. And then this is how the show message dialog statement works. And if we compile it, we can see we got it to work. Now let's comment out just for kicks so you see this. We're going to comment out that, remember, the compiler ignores this statement because it's in a comment. Notice if I compile it now, it's going to go to here. It's going to see this message dialog statement. It's going to go, it can't find symbol. It can't find this method being used because it doesn't see the JOptionPane class. The JOptionPane class has to be imported. All right, and so now we're going to compile it. Everything's good, and so now we're going to run it. So notice here, let's clear this. Okay, notice it says the more it dries, the wetter it gets. That's a dialog box. We can click on OK, and then it goes, what is it? Okay, but now let's say we want to add the punch line. And so we can just copy and paste down here. And we'll type in here our answer, our punch line, recompile, run it. The more it dries, the wetter it gets. What is it? Towel. All right, there you go. That's how you can use a show message dialog. And so this will be something you'll be doing in your homework for tonight.